Hello, Prince. How are you, dear? How is the resolution picture and the sound? Is it all okay? Hello, Priyank. Good to see you, dear. Brenda, hi there. Don, good to see you all again. So it's a very cozy day here, raining, overcast, a little chilly. One of those days that you really want to, I don't know, cuddle up with a good book or a good movie and just have a cup of tea and don't go anywhere. Hello, Sherry. Anyhow, that's how I feel today. Or one of those days that you want to sit and talk to friends around the world. How about that? That's probably the best. Hope you guys had a good week and sort things out and had a chance to take a look at the ebooks of the Me, My Psyche, and I that I'm sure you have acquired right now, by now. And enjoy bits and pieces of it whenever you felt like it. And ponder. You get a lot out of spending some time with yourself and the nature. Relax. Think about it all. See it as it is, rather than through conditionings that you have received throughout your life, and perceiving life through your experiences in the past, therefore missing the life as it is, and being too busy trying to fix something that is dead and gone, non-existence in your memory, the events of that sort, or worry about the things that haven't even come yet, but trying to go ahead and try to fix things that hasn't even happened, which distracts you from the actual flow of life and enjoyment of the moment. And that's where the secret is, in the moment. So hope you guys have had a chance to ponder on these things or things like that. Don't get bogged down with all the work and challenges that you're facing every day, every one of us facing. Do take time to sit down, maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes a day at least. Or do some meditation and bring relaxation to yourself. Bring the flow of energy to yourself, away from all these transient thoughts and challenges and things that happen that distracts you from focusing on the energy of life that is at work to make you feel the way you do, to help you to interact, to help you live. And we lose focus of that energy that we all need. We are not so aware of it. Like the fish is not aware of the water that it's swimming in. And we are not aware of the key, of the energy of the universe that binds us, goes through us. But we hope to be able to direct its flow as it arrives to us towards our lives and the things that we need to negotiate and deal with on a daily basis. So it is very good to do some meditation, or just sit in front of the ocean or somewhere, just have a cup of tea and just veg, do nothing. And that is life at the moment with yourself. Priyank says, we lose health while earning money, and then we lose that money to recover health. I'm not able to balance that. Yeah, I understand that. Well, on normal circumstances, I guess taking care of ourselves, to sleep enough, to eat simple food, drink good water, socialize with good people, positive people, not negative elements. Stay away from negative elements. And exercise every day. It's a little something. Exercise body and mind, which is through some kind of relaxation or meditation for the mind. And exercise, you all each have your own interests in physical exercise. You will be able to bring that balance, I think. But we are all encouraged to constantly go as if something is going to go nuts if we don't go and make more money. And we've been conditioned to think life is about making money. Well, of course, I can't deny it. Money is very important to bring the comforts, the lifestyle that you expect. But we shouldn't lose the sight of life while we pursue money. And we shouldn't allow money, as important as it is, to become the focus, the single focus of life. Rather, we should try to balance it between all the wonderful things that we want to experience, positive things we want to experience, plus doing the best we can to accumulate that wealth that brings you, again, more possibility to help others and spend time with yourself and have a lifestyle that you deserve or you hope for. Robert, hello dear. Robert says, Mehran, good day, say good day dear. I have a question. How do you put your energy and trust to only one girl? As in the world of Facebook and Instagram, it's hard to put yourself to only one girl when you see so many. How do you put your mind to it? How do you control it? Well, I think it depends on what you perceive a girl to be. If you look at her as a human being with intelligence and expectations that you may have from that relationship, that person, with that person, and hope to enhance your ability to interact with life, partly through the relationship with her, bond on consciousness level and try to understand each other's strength and weak points, that would be different and easier to focus on to one girl, as you said. Then if you look at girls as pleasure, if you look at the girls as pleasure, you'll never be able to stay with one girl, focus with one girl, because you're not understanding that entity as what it is. You don't understand that entity as a human being, as a person that you can advance your abilities, share warmth and trust and togetherness, the things that can make you see life in different light, see challenges together as one entity. But instead you see her as a pleasure. And pleasure is a never-ending thing. So if you stop looking at girls as only center of intimacy and pleasure of physical closeness, then you begin to see that person's effect on your life and how you each can enhance each other's life by teaming up, by understanding what this is all about, which helps you to understand what life is all about. And you will rise one step above what each of you can represent, which is intimacy, physical pleasure, and how you're programmed in your genes for procreation. If you be able to rise above that and see each other on a different level, not just the physical part, which is important, but also on your other part of being, which is the mind. You see, we are made out of body and mind. You can't be, let's say, buy a car and only focus on its body. Because if it doesn't have a good engine, it will leave you hanging eventually. It won't operate well. Same thing with us. We have mind and body. So if you want to consider a partner only on the portion of your entity, of your being, which is the body, physical being, well, it'll be very hard to be focused on one partner, because there's so many different aspects of physical presence of a woman that you can enjoy. So many different. So you want all of them. So this one, that one, this one. Wow. Well, because every one of them makes you feel that certain way that you're programmed to feel when you see the girl or the woman. But if you're able to focus that this entity is not all that is visible about her, it's not about how physically you feel pleasure when you see her, look at her, and function as you're programmed to function in presence of a female. And you go above that and see, okay, there's the mind part of her that is actually making all this body that I'm so infatuated with function. And that's the part that I should see if we are compatible or not, if we can meet each other's expectations in here. If not, then no matter how beautiful the body is going to be useless, because it's going to do things and behave things or say things that is not going to be pleasant to your way of interpreting things or expectations. So if you go above that and try to see that person as a whole, not that partly, just the body, you know, all the do-up and the hair and the clothing and the high heels and all that. So if you go beyond that, you will see there's a whole different person there. And that would be where the bonding and the worthiness of focusing on that very one person can or cannot happen. If you see that part is not compatible, regardless of how beautiful she is, or, you know, both of you seem to each other, you gotta let it go. Because if this part is not compatible, that's when you start focusing on so many other ones. Because the physical interest and attraction by itself is not going to fulfill you to justify focusing on that one person or getting to know her more or relationship with her, because you're always focusing on the physical pleasure, which is never ending. So in order to control it, you got to understand here. And if this works, great, you guys will focus on each other. If not, you will constantly be looking. So whenever you find yourself looking, or not looking, looking, we all do, focusing and wishing to be with someone else, that means you're only attracted to this person physically. You haven't bonded on the consciousness level. You don't know each other, and you're not compatible. Because if you were, you wouldn't care to be interested in other girls in the level to be totally distracted from your relationship and wish for that. Always remember, it is the physical attraction that makes you feel that person is better than this person. But if you get to know her mind, the one that you really think, wow, it's all that, and you're focusing on while you have your own girlfriend, then you might actually find, oh, that mind is full of shit. I actually don't want to have anything to do with it. So before you find yourself so fooled that, oh, there's that one I want, that one I want, find out what's in their heads, and find out what's in their head of your girlfriend and how you guys can bond on consciousness level. Then the problem is solved. And naturally, your instinct and your wisdom will keep you away from wishing for or focusing on other girls so easily. Alba says, hi, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. It is such a privilege to ask you something and having your question addressed. Kind of like magic. My issue is that I do not really understand unconditional love with your partner. Thank you very much for the compliment. I'm delighted that you and many others enjoy the videos on YouTube or the contents of the books that I've written or these live talks. They find it helpful to their challenges or what they're facing with in negotiation of daily life. And I'm delighted that you are here, because otherwise, without you guys, I'd be talking to myself. That wouldn't look too good. They may actually then brand me with certain kind of a name. Okay, and in regards to your question that Alba says, my issue is that I do not really understand unconditional love with your partner. Well, I don't necessarily believe in an unconditional love anyhow. Why unconditional? Why? Why? It has to be conditional. Everything to begin with is conditional. She's looking at how I look, what I have, what is my education, what is my abilities, what is my understanding, what is in my head, how I talk, how I treat her. These are all conditions. And I'm supposed to have no condition? Or vice versa. You know, it's not about her versus woman versus man, or just in any relationship, there are conditions from both sides. Every one of them expects something from the other side before one commits into a relationship. So unconditional love is only for your children, or maybe your parents. But even so, there is a limit to it. If the child, despite of all your attention and love and care and sacrifice, have become an asshole, and there's no way you can put sense to his or her head, then you can't be constantly loving that person for what he or she does. You can love your child for the fact that it's your child. That's the kind of unconditional love that I'm talking about, which is, in my opinion, the strongest love there could be. But love between partners must be conditional. Why should it be unconditional? What for? I'm not her daddy or mommy. I'm expecting to enhance my life and to have a real nice, cordial, honest, trustworthy, caring, unselfish relationship with someone in order to have a life. You're not supposed to feel you're there to just do everything for the other one and not expect decency, cordial interaction, kindness, warmth, unselfishness, caring, attentiveness, fairness, and the balance in that relationship. Why unconditional? So what you don't understand, what you just said, is perfectly understandable. So, I don't know if I've answered your question. Perhaps you meant it in a different level, but that's what I'm saying. You both should be reasonably expecting certain things in order to make something work. Everything in this world has a action and reaction and consequences of doing it this way or that way. Same thing in relationship. It's a condition that I expect if I'm going on a date, let's say, or I have a relationship with a woman, I expect her to take care of herself. I expect her to, I don't know, have proper hygiene. I expect her to have proper manners. I expect her to be kind and balanced in discussions. I expect her to be logical and reasonable. I expect her to be treated correctly as well, and not just, I expect her to be proud of herself, and at the same time, be kind to me as well. It's a two-way street, it's just, there's nothing wrong with having conditions in a relationship, which those conditions naturally are set by themselves. It's not that you got to sit and negotiate on it, but you will see if those parameters that you expect or each expect from each other is not there, you will naturally move on eventually. That's why breakup happens, because those conditions that are not discussed, untold conditions, are not met, so they just go on their separate ways. I hope that's something that you expected to hear, or at least that's the question that you were meaning. So, what else do we have? Have we missed anything? Don, hello Don. Don says, good day Mehran, good day dear. If I were to buy one of your books, which one would you recommend out of the three? Do I have to read one first before the others for me to understand them? No, each one are totally separate. The Breakup Pain Handbook, it's about breakups and the scenarios that you go through and why you feel the way you do and so on and so forth, just like the videos we have on YouTube. And I hope that within a few years, maybe I'll have the second print or second book written on that subject as well. Again, based on videos that we have on YouTube. Transient Thoughts and Me is a book about, it's written very simply. I write very simple. I elaborate on things in it. And it's about thoughts that appear in your head. The thoughts that you didn't invite them. You didn't cause them to be. You didn't think about them to come. They just appear out of nowhere. And you wonder, what the heck is it? What does it have to do with me? Does it define me? Does it mean something about me? Just because it came to my head, does that represent me? Does it explain me? Does it have to do with my character or how I am? Where does it come from? What is it then? What do I do with it? How do I manage it? How do I understand it? That's Transient Thoughts of Me. Me, My Psyche, and I is the one that I would recommend for everyone. That's a book talking about you, your psyche, fear, desire, ego, thoughts, consciousness, and many other little things. It's about 360 pages on the print. And an ebook, I don't know, it's probably more because different formats of the page. And so, yeah. But mind you, the three of them together, the way they are, the ebooks, are like $15. So you may want to put them on your library or just get the Me, My Psyche, and I and the Transient Thoughts of Me. But they're not prerequisites of each other. You don't have to read this to understand that one. It's not a It's not a soap opera. So, so I hope I answered that question. So let's see what else we have here. Munawar, hello dear. Robert says, Mehran, that was the answer I was looking for. You're the best man, best fish teacher. Fish teacher? What is fish teacher? And a man to look up to. Thank you. I'm flattered. I appreciate that. Also, I'm enjoying your book. Thank you, Mehran. Oh, I'm glad that you have got one. And on days like this, it'd be cool to just look at a couple of chapters in there. They're short chapters, mostly. So it's easy reading. Now, let's see. Being Jayadeb. Hello there, Bing. Hello, sir. Hello, dear. After my breakup, I am wasting my time a lot, and I'm not studying for my exam. Well, good for you. So not even you broke up, you're also going to mess up your life as well. So you want to complete the package. Sad about breakup and miserable about messing up your life, and no chance for you to actually see happiness, because you don't want to be happy. Because if you want to be happy, you will understand that's a breakup. It's a relationship. It's not the end of the world. I still can breathe, I have something to eat, and I have something to drink, and I've got my opportunities. I can go to school, I can study, I just have to understand that what I see is not all there is. Everything changes. And if I want to condense the whole world, the whole life of me, in one event, in one ambush, in one thing, and think that's the final of my whole life experience, that I haven't even gone through it, well, that's a total stupidity. I don't mean you're stupid, I'm just talking about it. It's like going to a movie and you see a scene that is not turning out the way you hoped for. The bad guy is beating the good guy, or the negative forces winning over the good forces, and you get pissed off, and you don't wait to see what happens later on in the movie. You just say, shit, because it's not the way I want it at this moment, you get up and you leave the theater. And you will never find out that it actually was going to change. It just was that scene. But you don't have the patience to sit around and wait. That's unfortunate. You know? You assume that what you see is all there is to know. It's like saying one of these glorious empires in the world, Persian Empire, and there's this story of that the Greeks held the Persian Empire with 300 of them, over 10,000 Persians. Okay, don't discuss the history because I wasn't there. But let's say it was true. Let's say 300 held 10,000. I don't care what army they are, Persian or Roman or whatever. It's rather kind of hard to believe, but even if they had stones versus swords, it would have been probably different than the story has been. But let's say it's true. So in one battle, one incident, one ambush, one situation, that Persian Empire with all its might was not as successful or was defeated in front of another army of lesser strength. So are we now supposed to conclude that the whole Persian army was defeated or was weak or was not as mighty as it was just because that one incident? Can we sum up the whole Persian armies or Roman Empire and all that into one of their endeavors, one of their battles that they lost, and conclude that the whole thing was going to be, or it's a representation, true representations of their might or power or wisdom or civilization or whatever it is? No. So how is it that when one relationship breaks up, you conclude that your whole life is all about that one relationship? And because that didn't work, then there's nothing else about you, no other opportunities, nothing will change again, you will not see happiness, there wouldn't be a better girl or better relationship that you will find in the future. You'll just conclude that was it. So your whole life was hanging on one girl that you made her to be the goddess of universe. Why? God knows. Because you're probably horny. I don't know. Or maybe you can't think that how could one girl, one relationship, whether you're a boy or girl, however your relationship, one relationship represents the whole possibilities and opportunities that exist in this journey of your life. The whole life was summed up into this. And if this didn't work, then she was the best of the best and you couldn't have her, therefore you're worth nothing. First of all, that's nonsense. Secondly, how could she be best of the best? She's another human being, just like you. You're needy of drink and food and sleep and shelter and everything else that you need. She's the same. So you're saying the imperfection of your life is because you're unable to have relationship with another human being who's just as needy and imperfect as you are. But you want to consider her, which is just like you, way on top of the world, and yourself, which is just like her, not here. Here. Why? Why? The roots is not about that she was all the best and you've lost something wonderful. The root is about your condition to think that women in a relationship or attention and affirmation that you receive from others or your girlfriend is what your value is in. And you should change that. Your value is in you, in how you conduct yourself in life, how you accomplish, how you help other people, how you build something, how you turn yourself into something wonderful, educate yourself, learn things, accomplish yourself. That's what your value is in. Not in who likes you or who doesn't like you, which that person itself is looking for somebody else to like her, to feel good about herself. So what's so magical about her? You have made her to be in your head because you're at the age that you think sex and girlfriend and relationship is what all life is all about. Not that it's only part of life, but you think of it as the whole of life. And then when you lose it or you miss it or it doesn't work, you think you've lost the whole of life because you made that to be whole of life. First, to understand what life and the whole of you and the whole of life and the whole journey is all about, then you will see when a fragment of it didn't work, it doesn't matter. I'll go on and I'll find other opportunities, other oases, and other wonderful experiences that awaits me. So, let's see what the rest of your question was. I didn't even finish it. And say, and I'm not studying for my exam. I'm still hopeful that she will come back to me. How to not waste my time. I just told you. So, best thing to do is to understand that your life is not over. There's so much challenges out there, much bigger than this that you think is a big deal. There's an expression in some cultures that says, if you're in love and you think that's the biggest pain, and discomfort that you've lost that love, or the relationship didn't work, or you love someone and you can't get to her, you say you haven't felt hunger to forget about love. In other words, you haven't understood their bigger pains and real disasters in life, that what you're thinking of it to be the disaster of life will look like child's play. So you got to put things in perspective and understand life is not all about one relationship or one woman or whatever your relationship is. Life is far bigger than that. There's a lot more to offer. That you got to have the patience, like that movie in the theater. Wait to see what happens and do your best. Build, make, act, and change the scenario. Change the outcomes by your actions. But by sitting on your ass and not studying, all you're doing, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You can't hold anybody or somebody out there, or the world or life responsible for your misery when you're sitting on your ass and not studying, and when you know that studying is a gateway to some other possibilities for you, better job or better possibilities, and so on and so forth. So, don't lose the chance that cannot come back. And that chance that cannot come back is not the girl, is not the relationship, is the study. Because the time passes, the year is over, the exam is over, you fucked it up, and now there's no way to get it back. You got to take it all over. But the girlfriend, you won't even remember her in a while. You won't even care, because there will be so many other relationships and friends and new things you will find that it will be so much more suitable. It will be both ways. Both would be interested the same amount for each other. And you are changing. A few months from now, or next year, or a few years from now, the changes that you have made in yourself through life and through growing up wouldn't even want this kind of a girl, because you're now so different from each other. Because you have changed. You wouldn't even want her anymore, even if she was with you. So, you can't say that this was the love of my life. What? How many love of your life have you had? Do you know yourself to know what you are all about before you think this is what you want? First, you got to get to know yourself. Once you understand that, which happens through years, through a few more years, school finishes and you work and start getting to know yourself more and connect with the life and understand life a little bit more, then you know what it is that you expect from a woman, what kind of relationship you're looking on. That's then a different level. In the meantime, you're supposed to take care of these exams and studies, that the chances will go on. So this one didn't work out for one reason or another. Now you're going to mess up your whole opportunities of studying, which you won't have a second chance. At least don't let these to be affected by this relationship. Make sure you do your duties and responsibilities. As always, take care of your business, take care of your work, take care of your duties, take care of your studies, and don't let these opportunities that cannot be replaced, hard to replace it, and it's far more valuable than a relationship that you won't even remember in a while, to go to waste. Hope that is something for you to ponder, and I'm sure you will do the right thing. Get yourself out of this. Move on. Things will change. Trust me, they always do. Now, Alba says, thank you, Mehran. You did answer my question. Good. Very well. Okay. That is what I suspected. Haha. Okay. Thank you for clarifying it. So much pain and suffer thinking the opposite. I wonder why I had that in my mind. Well, we all have things in our mind. Another thing about transient thoughts. These could relate to transient thoughts. It's a big subject about how our mind affects how our thoughts come to be and how they are related to how we function, act, and react but not always our thoughts are accurate or correct or have any credibilities. Most often thoughts are stupid. They have no intelligence. They're just thoughts. The problem is that I want you all to remember, often thoughts override the actuality. Just because a thought appears, and it appears in you, in your head, and your head is part of your existence, your physical body, so you have credibility for yourself. Whatever is attached to you seems to have credibility because you know its source, you know where it comes from, and your head has a credibility. What appears in it, your thoughts, seems to have credibility as well. And so therefore you think, because this thought is made and appeared in my head, and it's me, my head, and it must be credible, then the thought must be credible. No, the thought is stupid. It's not necessarily credible, has any intelligence. So ponder on that. Now, Chris says, hi again. Hello, Chris. You, sir, are very good at what you do. Well, good, thank you. I'm glad that I could be of some help. The information you gave me managed to get through what I had going on in my life. Good. I'm glad, Chris. Wonderful to hear that. Brenda says, can you recommend any other authors also? No, I can't. Because I haven't read anyone else's book to recommend anything, but I can only talk about what I can share. Brenda. And also depends on the subject that you're looking for. If you're looking for subjects such as thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, you can read my book, or you can go to a master 100 years ago. He started teaching before any of these people who are famous today came about and talk about similar same topics. This scholar was analyzing and teaching the world. Started teaching in 1920s. Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti, highly intelligent man. He never read anyone else's books, but he analyzed his own psyche, inner understanding of his whole of him, his center, discussed it for years. Psychologists and quantum mechanics, quantum physics mechanics, scientists would gather around the world and come to him to ask their questions from him. He was an educated man, but he learned about his own psyche on his own by analyzing internally. And he is a huge influence in what my research is all about. And I've learned a lot from him. And I have mentioned him in my book, Indebted, in completing or helping me be on my way to complete my research about mind. For many years, I studied and taught and shared with my students understanding the relationship between mind and the body and how they're related, and our energy flow and the energy of the nature, and understanding all that. However, there was always something missing, and I was in search of that. And when I was somehow directed, encouraged, introduced to this scholar, well, I spent years I never read any of his books either, even him, but I watched and listened carefully, thousands of hours, I'm saying, and it's true, because I was like fish to water when I saw him talking and the topics that he was covering. So analyzing what he said, understanding, pondering on it, lectures, interviews, and so on, it helped me tremendously to form and shape what it is that I wanted to combine with my own understanding of mind and body and energy and so on and so forth. And it was very helpful to where I am today and how I can deliver what I can deliver to and help people, help myself, and so on and so forth. So, now let's see what else we have here. Ruben says, Dear Mehran, yes, dear Ruben, I also want to thank you sincerely. Your videos have helped me so much after being left by my ex-girlfriend. I was very sensitive and fragile emotionally. You have taught me to find stern. You have helped me to find strength. Part of it was showing strength in my being in the present moment. You're helping many of us. Thank you for being such a good man. I aspire to follow your example. Best wishes from Cardiff, Wales, UK. Oh my goodness. I gotta appoint you my official, one of my official propaganda officers. That was a wonderful introduction of me. If I ever have a public speaking engagements in different countries, you would have to come and introduce me the way you did, do your shrill. It was very good. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I am delighted that I could be of some help to people around the world, yourself or anybody else. And I believe this is a good cause to help people to find peace and understanding of their own psyche and move on with life. Life goes on. We are too bogged down with the things that really doesn't matter, but it seems like if it does, because it's all about thoughts and emotion and feeling worthiness, being more, competition, comparing, need affirmation, all that. When you understand that, you see all that is conditioning, then you just simply say the magic word. Fuck it. Because you understand what is really there. It's all conditioning. It doesn't have to be the way you feel. You think you're obligated to feel this way because you've been conditioned all your life that this is how miserable you should be if you're not feeling so valued or appreciated or affirmed by another entity outside yourself, where that entity that is outside yourself is looking for somebody else to affirm her or affirm him. And all you have to do is you be the center to affirm yourself and know what is right, what is wrong for you, and not harm anybody outside of yourself or yourself, and be a positive member of the society and community, help things to grow and develop. That's really the kind of energy you want to exude. And if you're not receiving from somebody else, whether because they're not paying attention to you or whatever else, move on. Life is not summed up to one person or one relationship or somebody who likes or doesn't like us. We have to see if the truth is being observed, if I am good enough to like myself, and if I'm following the way of the universe, the way of the nature, harmony with life. And that's it. Now, let's see what Prince says. Prince says, hi sir, hello Prince. I was just wondering if people should care more about doing the right thing or care about doing things right. It's a play with words, but what are you really trying to say? Because these are ways to just what is the right way of doing something? I mean, it's so relative, you know? Care about doing the right thing. And what is that right thing? In whose mind? In whose consciousness? That thing is the right thing. Or care about doing things right. Well, which thing right? You know, it's a good sentence to put together. It's like a, you know, interesting way of thing, but it has to be elaborately explained. In what way? In what context? What? So on. Prince. All right. Let's see. Baktash says, hi Mehran, hello dear. Ruben says, my ex ended our relationship a month ago. I know my ex was not a good match for me, but I still long for her and miss her. She may want me back. How do I know it's right and to have the strength to go forward with separation, even if she wants to get back together? I'm not quite sure. Does she want to get back together or doesn't she? Or are you saying that what if you go on and then she wants to come back? I'm not quite clear, Ruben. Maybe you can help me out here. However, when you say, I know my ex wasn't a good match for me, but I still long for her and miss her, how do I know it's right and to have the strength to go forward with separation? Well, how do you know it's right not to go forward and still want to go back to her? You've already been there. You saw it didn't work. Now that you're out there, you say, how do I know that it's right for me not to be in a wrong situation? That's a question. Why do you doubt yourself when you separate from a situation where it wasn't pleasant and it wasn't working, but it had a pleasurable parts in it? So you're actually focusing on the pleasure part, questioning yourself, should I release myself, free myself from the bad situation or not, because there was something pleasurable about it? Well, it's like having a chair with something sticking out of the chair, and when you sit on it, it's, should I get up or should I sit on it because it does have a cushy part as well? I would just get up because I don't care if this stick is coming out of the chair or it's going to my side by a, I don't know, a spear of something that is stuck to the wall. And I can't say, well, this is a nice room, so I don't know, should I go away because there is a snake in it? Or should I go away because there's so many dangers here, like the spear and things that I can, you know, hit me on the side or walk on these sharp things, but it's a nice room. You got to see where the pain is and free yourself from the pain. You can't be focusing on the good parts of something when there is the bad part that is actually more harmful to you than the pleasure that you receive would feel wonderful. Why don't you find a balance somewhere? It doesn't have to be so, it can be a relationship that it works, and then you focus on the pleasure. Otherwise, pleasure doesn't have anything to do with something being good for you. It makes you feel good, but it's not necessarily good for you. Like smoking cigarette. Many people say, oh, I never smoked, but many people say, oh, it makes you feel good. Okay, it makes you feel good, but it's not good for you. Alcohol. It makes you feel good, but too much of it, it's not good for you. And many other things. There are drugs out there that people say that's why they get addicted. It makes them feel good. That's why they do it. If it didn't make them feel good, why the hell are they doing it? But it's not good for them. It kills them. It destroys their lives. So you are now focusing on the feel-good part, and then you're doubting, should I stay away because it was not a good relationship? And should I be missing it because it had a good feel part in it? That's a question you can answer. It doesn't need me to say any further. All right. And about getting back together, well, look, you know, you travel on a road with your car, lots of bumps and putts, you know, potholes and stuff in it, up and down in this road, and you dangers, and you hit here and there, and then you say, well, maybe if I go back and drive it one more time, the potholes will not be there. Yeah, it's possible. Maybe it's been fixed. Maybe the city came out and fixed them all, or some of them. It's possible. So if you go back, get back, maybe both will realize that, look, you know, you got to compromise, you got to fix things, and maybe you can. But then again, it's not something that you know. So you'll never know. And there are things in life that you don't have to know. Just see the experience that you had and weigh it and see, does it warrant extra time again to try? And if it does, go ahead. And if it didn't, then don't question that again. And if you're now thinking that the trade-off is not balanced, like, you know, the good things about it is not worth going through the bad things about it, then just move on, and both of you find more suitable situations for yourselves. All right. Inas says hello dear. Hello Inas Jan. Jan says, can you talk about fear and how it freezes us in all aspects of life? Yes. Jan, I suggest to you go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, because I have a video of a seminar I did in a local university a year or so ago. It talks about the end of fear. About 10-12 minutes of it is free, but the whole seminar is like 1 hour. It's like, I don't know, $8 or something. You can look at the 12-minute one. It'll give you ideas. And you can go on my YouTube channel and go on playlist Fear, or just search in the search engine on my channel, Fear. You will have a number of videos elaborately talks about fear. Here I can shortly just say, because, you know, it's an elaborate discussion. I can go on for an hour about it. Pretty much there is no such thing as fear. I'm not talking about the fear of wild animal attacking you, or a bus about to run you over, or when you get startled, or you're fearful of some consequences, of immediate consequences of something, you know, coming towards you. I don't know, somebody with a gun or something. You know. We're talking about fear, which usually fear happens when you compare what it was, what it is, what it could be. That creates fear. Some consequence of something you did, and you're thinking, well, what if such and such neighbor finds out about it, and what will it be? So you're comparing what it was before you did it. Now, what if what you did is found out by a neighbor? Now, the difference, what it was, what it is, and what it would consequences of the community or society would be, suddenly you created fear. Otherwise, there was nothing. So fear and thought and time. So thought and time is involved in creating fear. Because in thought, you think about what it was, what it is, what it could be. And time is when you think what it was, you just went to time. What it is, different time. What it will be, time. So thought and time, which thought and time is actually the same. Thought is time. And when you go through this exercise, then you create fear. Last night I had a pain in my tummy. I feel good now. So thought and time, I created time. Last night, before some pain, and now no pain, so I created time by thoughts. And then I wonder if I will have that pain tonight as well. So compare what it was to what it is and what it will be. I'm creating fear. So basically that's a short of the long. For the rest of it, go on the YouTube channel and search fear on my channel, and you'll have elaborate discussions on that. Or, that video I think probably, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm the only, as far as I know, I'm the only person, I think, who tried to put the seminar in the way that I put it, the way I developed it and described it. It's an interesting seminar. You would like it. Go spend the $8 and get that. And it's worth it. Jen, I hope that was something for you to think about. Ruben says, okay, I'll come introduce you. Just tell me the time and the prep and the place. But the time is unknown. The place is unknown. It's a secret speech that I'm invited to do. Yeah. So Being says, thank you for answering my question. You are my guardian angel. Keep making these videos. God bless you, sir. My pleasure, Being. I'm delighted that you're enjoying it. Sherry says, need words of encouragement to get back out there and date. No, just understand that date is an experience. It's not the end result or a final chapter or final pages of the book you're writing. It's an experience. Go see what it is. If you're focusing on the pleasure of the date, well, that's what you're going to get. And that's what it should be, really, just a date. But if you're thinking that this date should lead to some extraordinary lifestyle, you may be disappointed or not, and so on and so forth. So just go without expectations, and don't expect it to be a perfect person. Just be in that joy, the moment. Don't try to turn that into a pleasure, which is what destroys joy. When you have a good experience, when you have a good fun or a good happy moment, whether it's biting into a nice crunchy apple or having an experience of, being in a fun fair or a carnival or enjoying, that's a joy. But when you turn that joy, you want more of it, because then the thought comes in and says, I want more of this. Then you try to turn that joy into permanent, which becomes pleasure. And then that is a gateway to boredom. And disappointment. So when you turn this date from joy that it's supposed to be to something should be permanent and a pleasure, then it's just messed up, because your expectation goes in different ways, and you're not there. You're saying, oh, this is going to be ending up like that. Was that how this was? And then you're just perceiving the date and not enjoying the moment. Go enjoy the date. Don't expect too much from it, and let it develop by itself. It's something good. It will show itself eventually. Sonia, thanks for being here today, Mehran Jun. Thank you, Sonia Jun, for joining us. I appreciate that. Ruben says, thank you for your answer, Mehran. You helped me to think about how to make my own decision whether to get back together or not. Thank you so much for your help. My pleasure, Ruben. I appreciate you being here. Okay, it looks like we answered all the questions that was thrown at us here, and we had a good conversation. Now, let's see what time is this. Prince, my timekeeper, what is the time? Sherry said, enjoy the moment. Thank you, Mehran. You're welcome, Sherry. Have a good date. Okay, now, looks like that I think we might have, 12:26. Okay then, perfect. We started a bit early, and this is perfect timing to end our today's conversation. I appreciate all of you for being here, guys. Thank you for your love and attention. Please don't forget to acquire the ebooks that I put it. They're cheap now for you to have it. There's no financial objectives here. As you know, the prices are like price of a coffee, but I want you all to have a copy of it. So no one has an excuse to write me and say, oh, the books are expensive. Yeah, the papers are expensive because they're heavy to ship. But now the ebooks are just dirt cheap, $4, $5, $6, and go get them. And keep them in your library, use them as reference. And please do share the videos that you like on your social media, because many of you ask me, why is it that your YouTube channel that is so helpful to us and all that doesn't have so many subscribers? Because perhaps, I don't know, what I do wrong, tags are wrong, or I'm not so connected in the YouTube forum. So promote it. Promote the videos that you like on your social media. Let people know, so we'll get more popularity and people will get benefit from it, see if there's a support, and also they get to know my work. That is what you can do for me. If you are really happy with what you're gaining out of this, please do promote, talk about it, and promote the site, promote the videos, put it on your social media, put the site on your social media, let people know. Buy the books and enjoy it. Read a chapter or two whenever you're in the mood, and enhance your understanding of your own psyche and become your own master, to be able to have the brush of your painting in your own hand rather than somebody else having the brush of what you want to draw. You should be the master of your own psyche, knowing more about it than anybody else does, and being able to rely on yourself and have a happy life. Build a good life for yourself by starting from inner understanding of yourself. Okay, love you all. Hope to talk to you soon. If I may have a live talk tomorrow at the Amazing Things in the World Facebook page, I'm not sure. I may or may not. Either way, either see you tomorrow on that Facebook page. I'll have a post on my Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page, or I will see you guys next week, hopefully the same time. And in the meantime, I wish you have a wonderful week and sort things out and be good to yourself and to the others. Bye for now.